Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. I want to thank everyone who's been subscribing, I want to thank everyone who's been commenting, I want to thank everyone who's watching these videos. I couldn't have done it without you folks. So, I effectively saw the last film of 2016 I think I will see this year. Then we'll be getting to the worst films of the year, because who doesn't want to take a pot shot at some of the worst films of this year again before we leave this year behind, and I'll get to the best films of the year next after that. The race is heating up, folks, and apparently I guess it's going to be down to 2 films for Best Picture. You know, again, we had to have a race of like between 5 and 10 pictures, but really 2 are really in the running here, folks, for Best Picture. And it's going to be between La La Land and my review of Fences here, folks. Fences here, in my opinion, should win Best Picture. Will it win Best Picture? I don't know, because that could go to La La Land, because it makes it all feel good. So, Fences is directed by Denzel Washington, his 3rd feature here, and is written by August Wilson, who has been dead apparently for the past 10 years, and this is based on one of his plays. It's the Pittsburgh Cycle. August Wilson wrote a series of like 9 different plays about Pittsburgh, obviously, and this one is set in the 1950s here. This had a revival on Broadway in 2010, and also the fact that this was in the won a Tony Award in the 80s, and now 3 of these actors in this film were on the 2010 revival show, basically, here. So Troy, played by Denzel Washington, was a former Negro League baseball player. He believed he was just this close to being in the majors, although, quite frankly, when we hear his stories, you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's because of his age. But now, what he does for a living is picking up trash, although he recently said, why can't black people drive the trucks, and so therefore he's promoted to driving the dumpster. He and his longtime friend Bono, who is the guy who plays Bono, was also on the recent revival of this play. When Bono and Troy get off work each day, they go behind the house and they shoot the shit, basically, here. Think of themselves as king of their backyard, really. And the fact that, you know, Troy wants to build this fence, but Bono has basically said, you've been wanting to make this fence for 6 years. So he's been married to Rose, played by Viola Davis, for 18 years, and he has a son from a previous marriage. That son's name is Lyons, played by Russell Hornsby. Lyons shows up, basically wanting money, and Troy berates him for wanting to have the money to give him, basically, here. And Troy's other son, Corey, played by Jovan Adepo, he basically is really excelling in sports. College recruiters are going after him, but clearly Troy believes, quite frankly, that, you know, playing sports is not going to get you anywhere in life, because look at, and Troy obviously believes what happened to him is going to happen to Corey. It also doesn't help matters the fact that most of the time, you know, Troy speaks in baseball metaphors, which you sometimes truly get in many different ways. As for the fence, considering that, you know, Troy has been trying to make this fence, people will see this as a metaphor for trying to keep the Grim Reaper at bay from Troy, because he is aging. Clearly, he's not in the best of health some days. Also the fact, or at least Bono says, that sometimes fences are to keep people out, but sometimes they're to keep people from leaving. In some cases, good fences make good neighbors. Gotcha there. Again, it's like, Troy is a very flawed man. He has a chip on his shoulder a mile high and several feet deep, basically, here. But again, he was older when he got to playing baseball, and it's like, yeah, advanced age sometimes will prohibit people from getting to where they want to go. So, again, here's the thing. Have you ever noticed your parents, they talk a lot, and they talk a big game sometimes, and for Troy, well, again, outside of his backyard and his house, he's a very small individual. He has no impact on anyone in particular, not even his sons. In Corey's case, like outright contempt sometimes, who is like, you know, I want to do something with my life instead of being a garbage man or a, you know, contractor or construction worker, you know, there you go. Chief moments that Rose has in this film. One includes when Troy admits to having an affair and having a child out of wedlock. And the second moment in which, you know, Troy comes home with the baby because of the fact that the mother died in childbirth, and that one particular scene is actually pretty fascinating. I have not seen this play, and quite frankly, I've seen a whole bunch of plays sometimes in my life, although some of them are more musicals than other. Of course, Denzel Washington opens up this world just enough to show, hey look, this is actually Pittsburgh, not someone else. It's just not this guy's backyard or house. This tells you a lot of stuff. Now, I get in a play, they can't necessarily show you a whole bunch of stuff because can you show a four-car accident? No, you can't. But yes, the conversations in this film are absolutely fascinating, including one scene in which Troy basically shits upon Jackie Robinson of all things and saying he could be better than Jackie Robinson, and basically, you know, if all these black players had a chance to shine, and, you know, there you go. Scene is a conversation which is much more fairly disturbing. It involves Troy when he was 13 or 14 years old in Alabama in like the early part of the century. He's having sex with this girl who's like a year younger than him. He's ignoring his chore. I guess the farm animals get loose. His father comes and finds him, and what happens to him and to that girl, really, wow, that is actually powerful, interesting stuff. Well, some people say, why can't we be shown that? Telling you about the situation is much more interesting than actually witnessing it firsthand. There you go. Very fascinating ending to this film, but I thought it stuck the landing, and it's really effective. Denzel Washington, I think, really deserves an Oscar nomination for this particular film, whether it be in the acting category or directing category. So in the end, folks, Fences is one of the better films, I'll be honest, I think it's one of the better films, periods, of this fall. And what I'm going to do, I think Fences is super awesome, folks. Yay, right at the end of the year. So, folks, what did you think of Fences? Do you happen to like it? Do you not care for it at all? What's your favorite Broadway play or favorite Tony-winning play to get now turned into a film? Please put that in the comment section, folks, below. Please, no musicals, just particularly play. Always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to see this handsome face again, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Hooray, folks!